First game we're taking a look at this month is Pistol Whip, which is a really cool game because have you ever wanted to make shooting like John Wick with Beat Saber? Well, now you can, because this is a rhythm shooting game. It looks really cool, it's really fast paced, it's got cool neon graphics and it generally just looks pretty sick. It'll come to PC VR and the Oculus Quest, which is extra exciting. And yeah, this is just basically my favorite game on the list already. It's launching on the 7th of November 2019 on PC VR and Oculus Quest. Next up is Doctor Who: The Edge of Time, because that is a very exciting game for Doctor Who fans, which I consider myself to belong to. It is an adventure puzzle game which also seems to feature some kind of scary semi-horror elements, which definitely adds to the slightly creepy Doctor Who vibe, and it definitely looks very interesting. As I said, I'm a fan of the show myself and I can't wait to explore the TARDIS in all its virtual reality glory. The game is launching on PC VR, Oculus Quest and PlayStation VR, and it's coming out on the 12th of November 2019. At number 3 we have Failspace, which is also a pretty original game. It's a spaceship co-op crisis solving game. So basically you and your friends will end up in varying levels of difficulty where you have to solve problems with your spaceship or else you'll all burn to death and die. Which is definitely a very fun thing to do with friends, and I can imagine this being a nice mix between fun, frustrating and a good way to lose all your friendships. And I saw some pics that there was some combat and alien invasions too, which definitely makes things more interesting. This game is launching on the 7th of November 2019 on PC VR and the Oculus Quest. Next up we have our first horror game. Yes, it had to be there, it's almost Halloween. The next game is Reiko's Fragments, which is a pretty original horror game, surprisingly, because there is one person in VR trying to escape a haunted house and there is up to 4 or 6 people, I believe, that can control said haunted house with their phone or a laptop from outside of VR. So basically when you are in VR you are left to the mercy of your friends who can control whatever you see and try to stop you from reaching your goal, which I can imagine being a ton of fun. This game is out right now on PC VR. Next up is a tiny little game which I thought was actually pretty cool. It's called Root Beer on Tap, and it's basically a tower defense game, but you have to tap beer for people. So you're basically at a bar and there's a ton of people coming at you and they all very thirsty, they definitely want some alcohol and you have to pour that for them, and if you don't they'll smash up the place, so you better make sure they have enough to drink, which I think is a fun concept, and I think it can be a lot of fun, just a little time waster. Yes, I know this isn't a big full-fledged VR game, but I must admit that the content releasing this month is a bit on the shallow side. Root Beer on Tap is out right now on PC VR. Next game has a weird title. It's called There Is a Thief in My House, which is a very descriptive title, and as you can imagine you are indeed playing as a virtual reality thief who has to break into various places and various levels to steal things, and it also seems to feature some kind of payday-like shootouts and car chases, which definitely spice things up a bit. And I also have seen zombies appear in some of the trailers and gameplay videos I watched, so this can be a bit of a mixed bag of a game, but according to some early reviews it is actually pretty good. It does look like a lot of fun, and apparently it plays and runs a lot better than Thief Simulator. The game is releasing on November 1st, 2019 and only on PC VR. Next up we have PAGAN Peak VR, which I decided to add because it's Halloween time. Probably it's actually Halloween when you are watching this video on the day it comes out. PAGAN Peak VR is a VR escape room which gives me some horror vibes and some Far Cry 4 vibes. You are stuck in a mountainly cottage while you have to escape and also find out the mystery and not get eaten by a creepy Krampus-like monster. I have no idea what a Krampus is, but from the images it did actually look very scary. Make great use of room scale, bunch of puzzles in there, and I actually still need to try one of these, so this is also very interesting. It is out right now on PC VR. Next up we have Journey for Elysium, which is a first-person story-driven puzzle game, which is definitely interesting to see because puzzle games usually end up working very well in VR. It is set in ancient mythology and there's also some kind of magical elements in there, and there's also a bunch of stuff with like looking into the past and things, which could be very interesting if it's also tied into the puzzle mechanic. It also has some really cool black and white graphics which give a kind of eerie but also very surreal look look to the game with some very colorful highlights. It was a Kickstarter project and actually got funded pretty well, so I am assuming it'll actually be a pretty good game too. It is launching today when you're watching this on the release date, 31st of October 2019, and only on PC VR. And the last game for this month is Monster Reapers VR, which is a very Halloween themed game. It's actually launching on Halloween as well. The goal is to hunt monsters in this weird roguelike cartoony randomly generated game, which definitely looks like a lot of fun. You have a bunch of weapons to your disposal and a bunch of gadgets, and everything changes every time, and it could actually be pretty difficult. Also, roguelike games add a lot of replayability because everything is different every time you play it. Gives me some Ghostbusters / Monster Hunter vibes, but in a much more cartoony style of gameplay. It is launching today, Halloween, 31st of October 2019, and only on PC VR. Anyways, that was it for this month. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you found some new games to play, and do not get bored in the upcoming holiday seasons, which will see a bunch of cool VR games release. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more VR related content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.